Have you ever wondered what secrets lie sealed beneath the stone floors of ancient cathedrals? What becomes of royalty when time, not enemies, becomes the final conqueror? This is the chilling, fascinating, and unforgettable story of Queen Elizabeth I, not in life, but in death. Welcome to Empress Secrets, where we unearth the hidden truths of history's most remarkable women. If you're captivated by tales of power, betrayal, and the relentless march of time, hit that like button, share this story with your friends, and subscribe to Empress Secrets for more gripping historical journeys. Elizabeth Tudor, known to the world as Queen Elizabeth I, was not merely a monarch. She was the living embodiment of an era, a woman whose name evoked loyalty, fear, admiration, and at times, hatred. Crowned Gloriana, the Virgin Queen, and the last of the Tudor dynasty, she ruled England for 44 years, steering her nation through rebellion, war, religious turmoil, and the formidable threats of a Europe eager to see her fall. She outwitted Philip II of Spain, shattered the might of the Spanish Armada, and transformed a fractured England into a golden age of exploration, art, and empire. Born on September 7, 1533, to King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, Elizabeth's early life was a crucible of danger and uncertainty. Her mother's execution when she was just 2.5 years old left her branded as illegitimate, stripped of royal status, and cast into a world of political intrigue. Her father's 6 marriages and the births of her half-siblings, Edward VI and Mary I, plunged her into a court where loyalty was fleeting and danger ever-present. As a child, she witnessed the fall of queens, her mother beheaded, her stepmother Catherine Howard meeting the same fate, and learned early that power was both a shield and a cage. Educated in Latin, Greek, French, and Italian, Elizabeth was a prodigy whose intellect was matched only by her resilience. When her half-sister Mary I, a fervent Catholic, ascended the throne in 1553, Elizabeth faced imprisonment in the Tower of London, accused of supporting Protestant rebellions. Those dark months, confined in the same fortress where her mother had died, taught her to mask her emotions and sharpen her political acumen. When Mary died in 1558, Elizabeth, at just 25, inherited a kingdom teetering on the edge of collapse. England was divided by religion, Catholics and Protestants at odds, and threatened by foreign powers like Spain and France. With her trusted advisors, William Cecil and Francis Walsingham, Elizabeth set about unifying her people. Her Elizabethan religious settlement of 1559 was a masterstroke of pragmatism, establishing the Church of England as Protestant while retaining Catholic elements to ease tensions. Yet, peace was elusive. Catholic plots, often centered around her cousin Mary, Queen of Scots, who had a rival claim to the throne, simmered throughout her reign. Elizabeth's refusal to marry defined her legacy. Courted by suitors from France, Spain, and beyond, she used her eligibility as a diplomatic weapon, securing alliances without ever surrendering her independence. This choice earned her the title Virgin Queen, a symbol of her devotion to England over personal ties. Her decision was rooted in the chaos of her father's marriages and the vulnerability of her half-sister Mary I, whose marriage to Philip II had alienated her subjects. Elizabeth declared, "I am married to England," and her image, crafted through portraits of ageless beauty, white lead makeup, and fiery red wigs, became that of Gloriana, a near-divine ruler. Her reign's greatest triumph came in 1588 with the defeat of the Spanish Armada, a fleet of 130 ships sent by Philip II to overthrow her and restore Catholicism. Against overwhelming odds, Elizabeth's navy, led by Sir Francis Drake and aided by storms, crushed the Armada. Her speech at Tilbury proclaiming, "I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king," rallied her troops and cemented her as a warrior queen. This victory was a turning point, marking England's emergence as a global power and proving a woman could outmaneuver the mightiest kings. Elizabeth's reign also sparked a cultural renaissance. She patronized William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, and Edmund Spenser, whose works defined English literature. The Globe Theatre became a cultural beacon, and explorers like Drake and Walter Raleigh laid the foundation for England's empire. Yet, her triumphs were shadowed by personal and political costs. The execution of Mary, Queen of Scots in 1587, after years of plots, was a decision Elizabeth agonized over, haunted by the act of signing her cousin's death warrant. The deaths of trusted allies like Robert Dudley, her lifelong confidant and rumored love, left her isolated. By the 1590s, her health waned, and the weight of her crown grew heavier. She refused to name a successor until her final days, ensuring her legacy's continuity. Elizabeth's greatest fear, however, was not political but personal: the fate of her body after death. In the 16th century, embalming was a brutal process. Bodies were laid on cold stone slabs, sliced open with sharp blades, and stripped of organs: heart, liver, lungs, stomach, and intestines. The cavities were stuffed with clove cinnamon, and myrrh to mask the stench of decay. Elizabeth, who had crafted an image of divine invincibility, was horrified by this violation. In her final hours on March 24, 1603, at Richmond Palace, she begged her physicians not to open her body, longing to meet her Maker whole. But death offered no mercy. After her passing, her body was taken to the embalming room, her chest cut open, her organs removed, and her cavity filled with spices to prevent a catastrophic burst during her state funeral. Wrapped in crimson velvet adorned with Tudor roses, she was sealed in a lead-lined coffin, designed for containment as much as majesty. The risk was real. History recorded royal coffins bursting open, exposing remains in gruesome spectacles. Her embalmers ensured Elizabeth's farewell avoided such horror. Her coffin was carried by barge down the Thames, mourned by thousands, though a sickly sweet odor betrayed the decay within, seeping through the lead casing. Interred at Westminster Abbey, her tomb promised eternal rest, but centuries later, in the late 1800s, Dean Arthur Stanley explored the royal vaults. He found her coffin collapsed, the wood reduced to dust, the velvet brittle, and the lead warped by internal gases. Above her lay Mary I, rivals in life, neighbors in death, their vault heavy with centuries of rot. This discovery underscored a grim truth: even monarchs cannot escape time's hunger. Yet, fragments of Elizabeth's identity, the Tudor rose, her initials ER, persisted in the ruins. Her legacy endures beyond her physical remains. Succeeded by James VI of Scotland, who became James I, she laid the foundation for England's global dominance. Her life inspired countless works, from Shakespeare's plays to modern films, and her image as Gloriana remains a symbol of resilience and power. Above ground, tourists admire Westminster Abbey's grandeur, unaware of the decayed coffin beneath, a reminder that even the greatest rulers surrender to nature. Elizabeth's story is one of triumph, sacrifice, and the inevitable decay of flesh, but her spirit lives in history's pages and the inspiration she provides. At Empress Secrets, we're committed to sharing such tales of extraordinary women. If Elizabeth's journey moves you, like this video, share it with your community, and subscribe to Empress Secrets to keep these stories alive. Let's honor the queens who shaped the world. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the Empress Secrets community. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.